Hi YouTube, Dork Trooper here. As my previous videos have done, we've built railroad crossings in the form of the gravel crossing over here, which is my newest one, and the older crossing over in the old city, which is no longer in my usage. We have repaired the trackage going there, but the operation is not complete yet. But for today, we're going to take a break from completing the operations over there and begin work on a new grade crossing in the form of an active crossing containing gates. So first things first, we're going to need to remove the trackage here. Now for this crossing, it's going to be fully automatic, making it so we do not have to have someone on duty to close and open barriers. I like to use netherite for my crossing material, usually, because it's good for, like, rubber crossing maps. Now, another thing we're going to need to do is over here, we're going to need to put this whole pit here is going to be covered in redstone, pretty much, to make a fully automatic 4-barrier crossing. Now, the exit barrier, since we are building a crossing that follows the US standard of driving on the right side of the road, also used in France, the exit barriers on the left side will have a small delay, so that way anyone on the crossing in like a horse or something can escape. So the first thing we'll do is put 2 repeaters on the exits, putting them at a 4-tick delay. Once that's done, we will get out our sticky pistons. Make sure to place 5 of them such as this. That way, all crossing exits are closed. Let me get some redstone. There. Now, when a train enters the crossing circuit, it will trigger the crossing's active stance. Now, to get the crossing circuit thing active, we'll need to have detector rails to allow for our tracks to detect when a train is approaching. I think we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This will allow for the crossing circuit to be activated. I often put a repeater right there, and one right here. This will allow you to put your crossing circuit as far out as around 15 blocks, I believe. But for the purposes of this tutorial, since this is an automatic barrier crossing, we'll go all the way up to here. Oh dear, I made a mistake. Let me just fix that. Get some dirt out. And get it all hooked up. Now this side of the crossing is finished except for the inclusion of the track circuit in the form of the detector rails to make sure that a train is there when I went. So basically, it works as its own like little logic. If there's a train on this section of track, it will trigger the redstone, which will proceed to activate the barriers. Now, one of the things about this crossing is, due to its having 2 tracks, it will still activate for both trackages. And if a train is already on one of the tracks when another approaches and the crossing is activated, the crossing will stay activated for the second train if the second train is able to access the crossing before enter the crossing circuits before. Now that we have completed this, we then get out our slabs. I like to cover them in cobblestone because it will be the easiest to find, and it looks more like ballast within the two rails. Now that we have the redstone covered except for the road, we can begin work. First, we'll get some sandstone out. There it is. As our median. Then, no. We'll just use concrete. Now that that's done, we need to get out our rubber crossing mat. And now that that is installed, we'll just put that and that. That. And that. Good. Now, we now install the barriers in the form of red and white. I like to put red on the end because it just has a more, like, complete feel, while white on the end, you can do it, and it's actually quite similar to a real grade crossing, but I feel like this is more, like, eye-catching. Now that the map is installed, we can add our circuit detectors on the middle of the tracks, too. There. And finally, we'll take the design from our crossbuck and use that as our... with a few modifications, of course. Yes. Don't worry, it's not finished yet. Now that you have your crossbuck in place, it's just a simple matter of taking item frames and placing them where the lights would be on your crossbuck. These lights will not function, however, they do look real good on your crossing. There is no bell either. However, when I place a train on the trackage, the crossing activates, I roll across. Crossing will not deactivate until I've left the circuit, just like a real one. And voila! You've got yourself a new railroad crossing. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more, and like if you liked the video, because that's just common sense. Dork Trooper signing off.